What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here with another post-mortem. If you want to get your player ratings in, the QR code is on screen right now. And yeah, we'll
give him L. Give him L.
So a few people did say that to me after the game once again yesterday. But yeah, just get your player ratings in. We'll get the link in the live chat as well if you want to get your ratings in, but QR code is on screen. But let's just get straight into it, man. Last night was a night from hell. Another night from hell. Just when you think it just can't get any worse, it gets worse.
After a midweek from hell.
You know what I mean? It's just like, just give me a break, Tottenham, please. Just for 1 week, give me a break. I thought Wednesday night, the results couldn't have gone much worse. And you're thinking, like, if we had anything about us as a football club, we'll be fighting tooth and nail to get a result in this Crystal Palace game, knowing that we're going into this game one point off the drop. And there's just nothing. There is nothing on that football pitch. There really isn't. And, you know, stadium, a lot of empty seats in the stadium yesterday, which, you know, you can't really blame the fans for with the ticket prices and everything going
pre-game.
Yeah, just throughout the whole game,
yeah.
like it just emptied out as the game wore on. You know, at half time it emptied out massively, and by full time there was pretty much no one in. It was like me and Dad, and that was it.
We have
in the
capacity
stadium.
numbers. Do we know what?
I don't know what the numbers were or the official numbers were, but the official numbers are always skewed, aren't they? So I don't even trust them. But like the fans that were in that stadium tried to give their all. They really did. So I commend them for that. And, you know, I was there standing up for the majority of the game, trying to lend my support to the team. But it just becomes so hard as the game goes on.
You know, once you're 3-1 down and down to 10 men, it's like, oh,
but even in the second half, 3-1 down, we were still singing, still trying. And we get nothing in return. We really do. And it's like, it gets worse and worse every week. And let's start off with the bloody starting lineup yesterday, because Igor Chudor, three losses on the bounce now as Spurs manager, a guy that's supposed to come in and get an instant impact. You're looking at this Palace game, and we said it before the game. This is the game where we just have to win by hook or by crook. It does not matter. What is he starting Pedro Porro at right centre-back for? When he's got a João Palhinha there, when he's got an Archie Gray there, put João Palhinha at right centre-back, put Pedro Porro in his natural position, and get Archie Gray in the midfield. I just didn't understand it.
First of all the rumours, by the way, of Kinski and all this kind of stuff turned out to be utter rubbish, which I was kind of happy with, like in a sense that are we starting to like put out some wrong info to throw people off? But anyway, it's a separate issue. But I was kind of like, maybe we are starting to react to these leaks and leak wrong information and try and throw a curveball, but whatever, didn't exactly have any sort of impact anyway. We were discussing the lineup, weren't we, in the group chats before the game? Is it going to be a back four? Is it going to be Porro right wing back and all this kind of stuff? The one thing we didn't think, literally the only thing we didn't consider, Porro right centre back and Gray right wing back and Palhinha in the middle. I think that's literally the worst combination you could have picked. And I couldn't believe that was how he set up. I kind of understand the logic, although I don't agree with it. Get Porro a bit more central because we literally have no progressors in the middle, and just get him in kind of like a Trent role, inverting, just spamming. So
put him in centre mid then, don't put him at centre back.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand it. The only kind of method of attack we have at the moment, or hope, is if we get Porro at right wing back and get him spamming crosses in and hoping that one of them lands on Solanke's head and we can score. It seems like that seems to be the only like method of quality that we could hope for is doing that at the moment, given our lack of ball progression through the middle with the players that we got available. Like for me, if we had Gray and Sarr there, I think those are players who can take the ball on the half turn, who are a bit more confident on the ball, and I would be a lot more comfortable with Gray there, with Sarr, Porro on the right, and Palhinha at centre back. And I would think like, okay, the dynamics are there, but he plays Palhinha, who doesn't want to receive the ball. He plays Gray, who can't. I know Gray played well, but he can't dominate a whole wing. And he doesn't really. I know he got an assist, but he's not like a marauding wing back, isn't he? He can't do it relentlessly. He can just kind of pick his moments. And then you got Porro stuck at the back, and also asked to do all this defending in behind, winning headers, dealing with long balls, which isn't exactly his forte either. So the whole thing was what really made no sense to me. When I saw the lineup, I was like, okay, he's got square pegs and square holes. He's got Porro right wing back, Sousa left wing back. He's finally playing.
Little did position. You know what he was actually going to do.
Couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe when it's set up. I was like, is that actually where Porro's starting? I was like, I can't believe it. I know we saw him in the Fulham game. They were warming up in a back three, and then it turned out to be a back four. But then he's gone back to this back three. And it seems as though he went back to the system he knows and he trusts. But I don't understand why he played it in that way. It didn't make sense.
Essentially, I don't mind the back three. What I mind is playing Pedro Porro at centre back. It just makes no sense when there's literally a player playing out of position in his position. None of it made sense. It really didn't. And the game started as you know, we left off at Fulham. You know, they create a chance within the first minute of the game. And I'm thinking, like, how can you be so open from the first minute in a game of this magnitude? It's just like...
Long throw, wasn't it? It was a long throw.
It's just madness. Like, I was stressing so much at the stadium yesterday, man. And... you know, we started completely on the back foot. We conceded the possession to Crystal Palace, a team that don't even like possession. And whenever they ask to have the possession, they're terrible. But not against Tottenham, because we standoffish, stand still, going backwards and backwards and backwards, give them all the kind of hope that they need. And they get that goal, and it was a minuscule of offside. And I thought they were unlucky to have that ruled out because... whatever happened to the threshold of 5 centimetres or wherever it was, like that looked within side of that. Like, I thought we were very lucky not to concede that goal.
100%. We got away with that one. Palace started the first, I think, 20 minutes with 80-something% possession.
Yeah.
It's just unheard of a Palace. 80% possession to Crystal Palace. They were popping it around so confidently. They just looked like they're a team who just knew what they were doing. They were doing things with a purpose, with certainty, with confidence. And this is a team who should be low on confidence right now, who having the best of times, who have a manager who seems like halfway out the door, or fully out the door nearly, you could say, even because we know he's leaving in the summer. So it was a team that, you know, missing 2 centre-backs as well. There for the taking. They were there for the taking yesterday. Yet they got on the ball, are popping it around, putting combinations together, got Wharton dictating the game. They were just like having all the time in the world. And we couldn't string 2 passes together. The only thing that ever looked like happening was when we gave the ball to Tell, and maybe he had a shot, he cut inside, had a shot which was nearly spilled by Henderson. That was slim pickings. That was pretty much it. But even before the goal, but he was the only one who was like trying to make things happen, and even he was losing the ball, and he wasn't exactly having the most amazing game. But he was the only one who looked like trying to make something happen. But again, it looked like, as it has done the whole season, just a team of individuals doing their own thing, and no one combining, no one kind of work. We just weren't working as a team on the ball or off the ball. It was just everyone, like every man for himself, it seemed, in that game. And Palace took full advantage, even though we were going man for man in a similar setup to them. It was night and day in how we were playing the systems. They were just so uber confident on the day, and it was only a matter of time, it felt. Albeit I wouldn't say they had like loads of chances before the goal. You just felt like it was coming. Like, it wasn't exactly a surprise when they scored.
Yeah, they had a few that flashed across the box from corners and stuff like that. I mean, they had a lot more chances than we had. Let's put it that way. And I
think it was just they were the better team, but it was like a tight game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But you know, if you would have thought anyone was going to take the lead first, you would have put your money on Palace. However, the other way went, and we took the lead first. And Archie Gray, God bless Archie Gray, man, because that was an unbelievable bit of individual skill to get the ball to Solanke, beating 2 men, keeping the ball on and on the money for Solanke, and Solanke, does well to finish it. But I thought Archie Gray, pretty much the only player by the end of that game, from minute 1 till the 90, can say, you know what, I've had a good game, because he is actually standing up for the cause right now, Archie Gray. And it's not just yesterday. I think in previous games as well, it's 2 assists in a row for Archie. And
I think it's 2 assists and a goal in his last 4 games.
That's right. Yeah, 100. Yeah, exactly. So I think he is the one that is showing a bit of mentality to try and get Spurs out of this. It's just a shame that he's on his own.
Yeah. And he's trying his best, and he's doing it out of position. And I thought even if you look at the goal, it wasn't exactly like anything we did as a team brilliantly. It was just Gray had a moment of brilliance on the right hand side, got to the byline, cut it back for Solanke, and we scored. But you can't expect Gray to beat 2 players every time you want to do something. But it's kind of like what we has to do, isn't it?
Yeah, but there was also just a few pass and moves from Archie Gray in the middle of the park, and
he was trying to play football.
Yeah, he was the only one trying to play football. No one was on his wavelength. This is like a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How is he kind of outworking, outmaneuvering, and outdoing everyone that we've got? I mean, it's an embarrassment.
You give the ball to Porro, he's just spamming it forward. Like he's just just lazy. He's just getting the ball, looking up, and just spamming it forward into space, like with no going near no one. And it was so easy for Richards to deal with it. Gray was the only one who gets the ball on the ground, looks for little passes, looks for how he can. He's like passing and moving it, looking for little advantages. And he was in the second half, he burst into the box, nearly got a penalty as well. There was he was doing like things on the pitch with a bit of quality, which no one else was even attempting. The only one maybe was attempting was Tell. He was trying to play some football, but it wasn't coming off as much. But Gray was actually doing well. Like he was actually coming off. He was actually getting some advantages down that side, and we actually looked a bit dangerous there. And he was the only one. And throughout the whole game, you got Paulinho not being able to pass the ball, putting in, chasing his own challenge passes again. You've got Porro just spamming it forward. No one else is able to get the ball on the ground and play. Mawani was shocking, I thought, again. He was horrendous. Solanke wasn't able to get the ball. You got Vicario, not being able to find anyone in a white shirt. The whole performance was just horrendous. And even though we scored, that was obviously a big sigh of relief when we got the goal and we're in the lead. And, at that point, we're in the lead against a Palace side who have been struggling. So thinking, are their heads going to drop? Are we going to go on and win this game? Or even just take something. And the game was, within 5 minutes of us going 1-0 down, the game was over.
Yeah, I know. And I've kept saying over the last couple of weeks, is I want to see Spurs get into the lead and a bit of confidence. That's what they need. They need to get into a lead of a game. They need to feel that confidence, and maybe they can play off it. But it was anything but that, man. After that goal that we scored 5 minutes later, it was self-sabotage of the highest degree from Mickey van de Ven. And I've come on here and I've mentioned Mickey week after week in terms of his head has dropped. He doesn't look like he wants to be there. It's not the right mentality that we need from our captain. And then on the back of all that, he goes and does that. And what is he thinking? I think it was disgraceful from Mickey van de Ven to do that. It really was. Like, what is he thinking? We're 1-0 up, and within 5 minutes, he's pulling back Ismail Yassar, was it? And it's a penalty and a red card. Game done. Nobody had any hope that we were going to get anything out of that game after that. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing from Mickey van de Ven. He's supposed to be the captain. He's supposed to be on the leadership group, and he's supposed to be the one leading by example, and he puts us in this shit just like our other captain, our main captain, did 4 games ago. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. The leaders in this team have to hang their heads in shame about how they're leading this team. You watch the incident, he has one arm on his shoulder, and it's almost like he wants to make sure he gets sent off. It's like, okay, this arm might not be enough to get me sent off. Let me just get another arm and really drag him just to make it clear that this is going to be a foul. And the thing is, Sarr probably wouldn't even have scored. Like, I think he takes a heavy touch. I think the ball's going towards Vicario. I think Vicario probably picks it up or at least makes a save. And yet Van de Ven still makes that decision, that brainless decision, idiotic decision to pull him back. And there was only one decision to be made then from the referee. It was a penalty, red card all day long. Stonewaller. I just can't believe he put us in that decision. Even if it gives him a goal, just let him score, and at least it's 11v11, and you've got a chance to claw it back. Once we go down to 10 men, with the situation we're in, with injuries and everything, it was always going to be a tall order to get anything out of that game against anyone in the Premier League in that situation. And he really put us in the shit. And now he's also missing a game at Anfield. And we've just had a centre-back ruled out for 4 games for a red card for a reckless decision. And now our new captain for the in the next few games has done exactly the same thing. I mean, it's only 1 game this time, but still, it's a ridiculous decision. And it just goes to, again, what is going on within this group. There's no one standing up for the team at the moment, and there's no one making sure that they're making the right decisions, or anyone the players can look up to and saying, this, we have to follow his example.
Look, you may as well give Archie Gray the captaincy at this point, because he's the only one with the actual bottle to stand up for this football club and stand up for this team on the pitch, and it's few and far between that anyone does. But it's really taught us, when the going gets really tough at this football club, our leaders don't stand up for this football team. They're just looking for routes out. That's how embarrassing it is right now. And Mickey van de Ven is a key example of it. Cuti Romero is an example of it as well. And they're just putting us in the shit. They're putting us further and further in the mud. Not like we needed it, because we're in the mud anyway. But we don't have leaders. And when you're looking at the teams that we're fighting against, the West Hams, the Nottingham Forest, they've got leaders. They've got leaders to galvanise the teams and see them through, Morgan Gibbs-White. He's really come alive in this part of the season, scoring goal after goal. He is a leader dragging Nottingham through this hard period, Nottingham Forest. You've got West Ham, Jarrod Bowen, been their captain for years. He's a leader. He absolutely loves the club and he'll die for that football club. And what have we got? When it gets really hard, we've got Mickey van der Ven doing interviews on Sky Sports looking for a way out. We've got Cuti Romero signed a contract in the summer, but before that he wanted out and he probably wants out at the end of this year as well. So we've just got people that just want to flee a sinking ship. When the teams around us, they've got captains that will bleed for that football, for those football clubs. That's the difference between us and them right now.
It seems though no one cares. We got a manager as well who's going to be gone in a few months. What does he really care if we go down on? Obviously, it doesn't look good for his CV, and I'm sure he wants to keep us up. But at the end of the day, it's not his career ain't going to end if Tottenham go down. He'll probably get another job in Serie A. You got all these players who know in the back of their minds if we do go down, they'll have a lifeboat in other clubs coming in for him. They don't really care. There's no one who's like got Tottenham at the forefront of their minds at the moment. It feels there's no one who really cares if we get relegated. I wouldn't say no one, as you said. There's Gray. There's like Tell. Tell might be doing it for himself. I don't know, but I'm sure these players don't want to get relegated. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that they're going out there saying I don't want to get relegated. I'm sure they're trying, but at the back of their minds, it's as though like they're not feeling the consequences of going down.
Yeah, because they know they'll drift off into the sunset in the summer. They'll find a club that may be in European football, Champions League, Europa League. They'll be fine come the end of the season. It's us fans and this football club that are going to be dragged through the mud and dragged through Championship football next season. The likes of Mickey van der Ven and Cuti Romero and the so-called leadership group of this team will be completely fine.
And the people who really know about Tottenham and the history of Tottenham, players who've been here a long time. We've lost the likes of Kane, Dyer, Sonny obviously recently. Ben Davis is obviously out with an ACL. It feels though these guys who were all here, when we were at White Hart Lane and we were going through periods for Pochettino and have like that affinity and that connection with Tottenham, they're no longer here anymore. And what's left? Just a bunch of players who feel like they don't have an affinity with Spurs. They don't know what it was like when we were at White Hart Lane and we were playing on in front of 36,000 and what Tottenham used to be. And now they've come into this stadium, this training ground, everything's top notch, and they have the feeling they've hit the big time. Whereas I think these other players, they knew what it was like when we weren't like as big a club as we were now, and we weren't this like behemoth, and like maybe that's grounded them a bit and given them that connection of seeing us grow with them. And now these players have come in, and they don't care. They don't care about what's going on here. They're just like, okay, it's like I'm here for the money. I'm here for these lovely facilities, and if we go down, I'll get the money somewhere else. Like I'm here because I'm getting a nice wage packet. It's very comfortable. It's a really sad state of affairs. We've got no affinity, no connection to Tottenham. It feels in that dressing room right now. No one cares about Spurs. It's like a job. It's just a job to them. And they want to do well in their job.
Selfish
but
individuals.
They'll just go. I don't know if it's even about selfish. I just feel like it's more about. It's just a job. Like it doesn't matter. So if another club comes who's with more money and different kind of targets, they'll just move on. Like they've got no connection to Tottenham. They don't really care. And
regardless of a connection to Tottenham, if a company is paying your wages, and you've got thousands of people relying on you, and you have thousands of people rely on you, get your head out your own arses, stick through and ride through the bad times and actually stand up for the cause. None of them are doing that. Like I said last night, they're all shitting on the badge. They're all shitting of the club, Tottenham Hotspur. They're shitting on our fan base, us fans, week in, week out, that pay our hard-earned money to go and watch this dross week in, week out. And we get spat on in our faces, black eye after black eye after black eye. And we all think it can't get worse year on year. Finishing 6th, oh, there's a crisis. Finishing 8th, oh, it's a crisis. Finishing 17th, oh, it's a crisis. Now we're actually going down. We're actually in a real crisis now. A real crisis. And I don't know how we're going to get out of this. I really don't. And I'm fed up of this team coming out in the second half and pretending that they're trying hard and creating a couple of chances when the game's already done. Like, how many times this season have we gone 2-0 down, 3-1 down, whatever it may be by half time, and then they push on for about 10 minutes time and then they run out of gas? We have seen it time and time again this season. How about try from the actual off? Get yourselves a 2-0 lead and then kind of manage the game from there. I think the whole thing is just ridiculous.
Oh, I don't think Chudor's substitutions made any sense as well. You're just gone down to 10 men. I understand it's a big situation, but to destabilise the team with a double substitution, moving this one to centre back, taking off Sousa, bringing on Gallagher, putting him on the wing, and change it all up. I think it destabilised the team. All of a sudden, it caused panic, it caused confusion, and we got opened up another 2 times, and we conceded another 2 goals. If he would have just not panicked at that moment, just made sure that we were solid until half time and then regroup and then all of a sudden we can go again. Make sure it's 1-1 going before half time. I think we would have had a chance in this game, but the game was over at half time. I think these substitutions completely destabilised this team. I think he panicked in that moment. He's like, okay, we're down 10 man, I've got to change it all. I've got to make 2 subs. I've got to do something. I've got to impact this game. And I think he completely panicked and the team panicked as well, it seemed, and we ended up paying the price for it. At 3-1, it was game over. It felt it was complete game over.
And what's Vicario doing for those 2 goals, by the way? First one goes completely through his legs. Second one, he's late to come out. I mean, both of them. Just this Vicario, man. Every week now, it's just like you just got your head in your hands watching him.
Well, there were rumours of Kinski coming in. It didn't happen, and I think we should have brought him in. Was he on the bench?
Kinski, I think he was. Yeah.
Because there's rumours he picked up a knock. I don't know if that's true, but I know Dragishin picked up a knock. But yeah, I think Kinski, we should probably just give him a go at the moment.
No, he was on the bench.
He was on the bench. I think it was worth giving him a go because Vicario's just giving away goals left, right,
as well.
centre.
We just need fresh blood on that pitch because it's just so stale, everything that's going on right now. From 1 to 11, like I said last night, I just don't care if any of them are here next year or not. This club is just completely rotten from top to bottom. The ownership are rotten. The people running this club are rotten. The players are rotten. The manager's rotten. Everything. There's nothing going for us. What have we got to go for us? And I keep thinking, like, I've said it a few times to you now, but like, it looks as though we're going down. We're favourites with the bookies to go down now. And I can't believe we're in a position where we're the 9th richest club in the world, record revenues in the stadium that we're in with all the revenue streams that we do have, 6th or 7th highest wages in the Premier League. When you're looking at the teams that we're competing against, we're probably like double the wages that what they're paying. We're sitting here, favourites to go down. No real way in sight to turn this around. So we're basically sleepwalking to relegation. And still, I just can't envisage us. I can't envisage us playing in the Championship next year. Like, how the hell are we going to be in the Championship next year? This football club. It makes no sense. How have we let it get to a situation like this where we're going to be playing Championship football next season?
This is what years of mismanagement looks like. Not
one person can say to me a way of how Spurs are going to save themselves this season, judging on what we've seen all season.
I feel like, we can change the manager, we can change what we want. We're expecting some sort of lifeboat to come and save us.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't look like it's coming at the moment. No one's answering the call, the SOS call. We're stranded in the ocean, sinking, and there's no one coming to save us, it seems. And I don't know how we get out of it. It seems like a perilous situation at the moment. It seems like a situation that almost looks unsavable, and it's mad to think about it when we're 1 point above the relegation zone still, and we're not in a relegation zone. But that is what the situation looks like. I think, if we were being honest, it's looked like this situation for a while, but because, you could always think, could a new manager bounce, improve things, these players coming back, is that going to improve things, blah, blah, blah. But, we've tried all these things, and nothing's changing at the moment. So at some point, you've got to say, what is going to save us? What is going to save us? What is going to improve us?
I can't see a hero. I can't see a saviour. There is nothing here. We've brought in a manager that is supposed to be a firefighter and supposed to come in and get instant results. And he's done it everywhere he's gone. Let's not forget that Jose Mourinho was brought in to bring in a trophy because he wins trophies everywhere he goes. What happened? Didn't win a trophy. Got sacked a few days before a cup final. Conte, proven winner, come in to win a trophy for Tottenham Hotspur. He's won a trophy everywhere he's been. Comes to Tottenham Hotspur, doesn't win a trophy. Ange is the only one that actually, before he came here with trophies with his CV, and he actually came in and won a trophy, albeit he did end up finishing 17th. But this manager has come in with a proven track record for coming in and getting instant results everywhere he's been. We've lost 3 games on the bounce. So he's making wrong decision after wrong decision in terms of starting lineup, playing players out of position where he doesn't need to be. I think the only way that we could potentially save ourselves is to bring in like a Harry Redknapp, and that's not even a guarantee. That is just like a Hail Mary, just on the off chance that he does. Like, I can't see us getting these results under Igor. Like, he's a terrible manager, it seems.
Well, I think he's coming in a very, very difficult situation.
Of course.
It doesn't get much harder than it is right 100%. Now for Tottenham. I think giving him 3 games is unfair and it's stupid, but this is the situation we are in. Like, it's almost like we kind of... It's not logical to give him 3 games and sack him. I don't think it's logical to do that. I think you have to give him a few games. Yeah, but Stellini was different. He was basically Conte.
Yeah.
It was basically just take over from Conte and do what Conte was doing, but a bit better. And then he was gone. This Chudor's supposed to be a change, but I'm not sitting here saying sticking with Chudor's going to save us. But I don't see how sacking him is going to save us either. I don't know what we do. We left it way too late for Frank. Way too late. We should have sacked him way earlier to give ourselves a bit of time to build something new and get some new ideas into these players. Where now we gave ourselves 12 games, and with an injury crisis in a relegation battle and expecting things to change immediately, just because a manager has a track record of improving things immediately doesn't mean it's going to happen. No, doesn't mean it's a guarantee. Also doesn't mean just because that doesn't happen immediately he can't turn things around either. But it hasn't happened immediately, and he only has 9 games left to do it. And the reality is, with each game that passes, you're getting closer and closer and closer to the drop. And how much do you risk? At what point do you pull the plug and say enough is enough? We'll get into the update later. It seems as though they're not going to decide just yet. But there has to be, of course, if you're of the hierarchy, I think there definitely has to be a line in the sand to say if you can't get any sort of win at this point, we're going to have to go in a different direction because we can't risk having more losses at this point.
That's what I'm saying. We're in desperate times.
I agree.
We're in real desperate times. And I said before the game, we need to take inspiration off Wolves and how they've turned it around. They've just beaten Liverpool. They've just beaten Liverpool, and there's nothing to say to me. You can't tell me that Wolves have got better players than Tottenham. You can't. It's not possible. We've got a team that should be in the top half of the table, even with the players out injured now. We could easily be in the top half of the table if these players had confidence about them, had anything about them, and were fighting for the cause. We need a manager to come in that can just... I don't know just give a bit of confidence to this team. Surely someone can.
I look at the team we had yesterday, and I actually don't know if it is top half of the table, to be honest. I think I dispute that. I think right now we are probably a relegation. Just like last season when we had the injuries, that team was a relegation side when we were down. I think yesterday, I don't know if it's a relegation side, but it's definitely a side that is bottom half for sure.
And you think so, though?
Yeah,
because
sure.
Vicario is an Italian international. Mickey van der Ven, we all say, is an unbelievable defender. Kevin Danso done really well for us this season. João Palhinha, is a good player.
For Wolves, by the way.
Yeah, fine, but we know he's a good player. He's one of our best players.
He's a mid-table Premier League centre-back.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, mid-table. Top half, mid-table.
Top half, okay, but you put that with a teen. I know he's played well, but a teenager, a right wing-back, a teenager at left wing-back, and another youngster Tell in the forward line. Moani, who's out of position as well. You've got players out of position. You've got young players with little experience. You've got to back up mid-table centre-backs like Danso. When you've got misprofiling all over the shop. There's so many misprofiles. If one of those things was wrong, you could say, okay, that's one problem. You've got about 5 or 6 or 7 things there that we have to fix, and it's causing lots and lots of issues. And you've got 13 injuries on top of that. On top of all what I'm saying, right now it's a very difficult situation. It's a very difficult situation.
I think if the team yesterday were on top of their game and had confidence about them, they could finish mid-table or higher. I really think they can.
I don't know.
Solanke's a very good striker on his day. Kolo Muani, France international. Pedro Porro, Spanish international. I mean, these players are not dog shit players. They're good players.
There's some good players sprinkled in with a mishmash of misprofiling, out of position players and little experience. That is
but the out of position players is not the players' fault. That's the manager's fault.
Okay.
The players didn't need to be out of position yesterday. Pedro Porro could have easily been at right wing back, and Archie Gray could have easily been in midfield. Like, that's a manager issue. That's not a player issue.
But still, you still got a lot of inexperience, and you've got a lot of players who just aren't that great. When you look at the team, I know when we have our squad together, we have a lot of good players, and we definitely have a top half, at least a European, in my opinion, chasing squad. But the situation we're in right now, I look at that team. Is that team better than Palace? I think a lot of Palace players get into that team. I think a lot of Palace players get into that team, to be honest. Like, I don't look at the team right now and thinking, oh wow, that team we had yesterday is definitely good enough to get us out of the situation. It isn't. I'm looking
at this Palace team. Yes, 100%. A lot of the Palace players get in. I think their goalkeeper is better than ours. I think we probably still get 2 players in that back 3. I think Richards probably gets in the back 3 for us, but not Riyad or Canvo. They don't get into our team.
Wharton, Munoz, Mitchell probably all get in.
Yeah, Wharton, Munoz, Mitchell. Yeah.
I mean,
but like at the beginning of the season, you might have said Pedro Porro. You've been saying Pedro Porro is the best right back one of the best right backs in the Premier League.
But yeah, as right back, as a wing back, I think Munoz is.
But that's where he made his name, Pedro Porro, right wing back.
He hasn't played that much there for us.
But that's what we signed him off the back.
Okay,
of.
But I think as a wing back, Munoz is brilliant.
He is brilliant. I don't doubt that.
I think as a full back, I think Porro might be better. But as a wing back, I think Munoz is probably better.
What I'm saying is, on current form, there's nothing to dispute what you're saying. But I'm saying of the genuine quality of the player, if they're all playing on full confidence at the top of their game, they're all good players.
They're all Premier League players, I think. But I'm just saying they're also battling with fatigue, mental fatigue as well. We're in the so low confidence, and we've got an injury crisis, and there's a bunch of players being misprofiled. My point being is lots and lots of issues at the moment, and it was always a tall order for Chudor to come in with a few weeks and change it all. And I understand he's done that at other clubs, but I don't think any of his other clubs have as many problems as we do right now. We are the biggest challenge he has, that's for sure. And you can even see it in his how he talks and what he's been saying, what the challenges are at Tottenham. So as anyone coming in, it maybe can happen and manager can come in and perform a miracle and change things immediately, but there's always going to be difficult. You look at West Ham right now, they're on brilliant form. Nuno went 13 games without a win, or 11 games without a win or something, right? That's what he had to go through to get West Ham to the point he is right now. And that was after Potter had a shocking start to the season. They had a lot of problems. So Nuno's looking great and West Ham looking great after a real difficult period which he had to go through. Like, Chudor obviously can't afford that difficult period, but that's the point I'm making about leaving it so long to sack Frank, which meaning that someone has to come in and immediately turn around, otherwise we're screwed. And my point is, I don't know anyone who could do that right now. Someone's going to need time to work out these issues and work out who should be playing where, what works best, and who works best for their system, who's going to be, who they can trust, who they can't trust, all these different things. And I understand that the temptation to look at the situation and go, Chudor, you're meant to come in immediately and you haven't, so you got to go. I'm not saying this guy is a good manager or not. I've got no idea, to be honest, if he actually is a good manager or not. But I'm saying sack him after 3 games seems foolish to me. Like, I don't like what do we do?
It does seem foolish. 100% it does. But this is the situation that we found ourselves in. History suggests to us with Igor Chudor, the longer he's in a job, the worse he gets. That's happened everywhere he's been. So if he's not getting that initial bounce, then what are we doing here? Like, if he's not getting the initial bounce,
comes in and we lose 3 games, is he gone as well?
I mean, how many managers do you end up changing?
That's my point.
But we're going further and further to the drop, right?
Correct.
So we do need a change. Because Redknapp has actually, I know it's been a long time, but he's proven that he can give players confidence before. He knows the Premier League. He knows the football club. Chudor doesn't know the Premier League. He doesn't know the football club. And he's got off to the worst start imaginable.
Redknapp hasn't managed in 10 years.
Yeah.
There's no point.
So go for a Sherwood, go for a Sean Dyche. Like, I'd even take Sean Dyche at this point. Like, seriously, we need someone that knows this league.
There's no one coming, is my point, to come in and put in immediate results. You either give a manager a bit of time to sort it out, or we're going down.